find out what the people want. And again, this assumes that we've already created some level of rapport. We're in a position now where the person is listening to us and would be willing to share. I think this question is so simple, but it's really, really powerful. What are you looking for in A? So, what are you looking for in a insurance business growth course? Or what are you looking for in a lead generation services? Or what are you looking for in a hypnosis coach? Whatever it may be, what are you looking for in A? They're going to answer, and you need to go deeper than that, because in most cases, that initial response is sort of surface level. It's nowhere near, they're not going to tell you their values at that point. So the good follow-up would be, what's important about that? Or what does that mean to you as an alternative? I'm looking for, what are you looking for in a lead generation consultant or a lead gen partnership? Well, I'm looking for high quality, hyper-targeted leads that are responsive. Well, what does that mean to you? Or what's important about that? Well, it's important because today our call center spends too much time calling people with numbers that are bad or that never answer the phone, that really have no interest in buying, that are just tire kickers. And the deeper we go, and we can kind of ask these questions again and again.
It's important to draw that out as the salesperson to learn that, but it's equally as important to get them to articulate it, because once it comes out of their mouth, it's now really just pulsing in their head even louder.
It is, and it's a good point. By having them articulate all of this, it also ties back into the commitment and consistency. By them answering these questions, they're telling you what they want. So when you can show them that what you have meets these needs and will help them achieve exactly what they want, it's harder for them to say no, because they want to be consistent to themselves and to their values. So what's important about that, or what does that mean to you, to try to go deeper? We don't want to stop at that first question. And then what will having that do for you? This one kind of tells us what they're trying to achieve, whether it's moving towards something or moving away from something. And Ben used the analogy today, or the story of, people will fight harder to protect the 4 tires on their car than they will to go down to the store and get 4 free tires. Another mentor of mine uses a story of, you imagine you wake up in the morning and you walk out of your house, and on your doorstep is a $100 bill. And you pick it up and you put it in your pocket, and you're feeling really good. You're walking down the street happy, you're $100 richer. And God bless you. And you get to your office, and on the ground there's another $100 bill. And you pick it up, you put it in your pocket, and you're really, really feeling good now. You're $200 richer than you started the day. You didn't really do much to earn them other than walking down the street. You get home that night and you realize that you lost one of those $100 bills. You're going to feel, if you started here at the beginning of the day and then kind of at your peak you were up here, you're now going to be down here, because our aversion to loss is stronger than our desire for gain. And you're $100 richer than you started the day. But you're down. We see this in casinos all the time as well. Somebody will go in and they'll be up, thousands of dollars, and what they should actually do is just walk away at that point. But they'll continue to play, and maybe they're up to $3,000, and they keep losing, they finally stop, hopefully when they're still up a little bit, but they still feel, they don't feel value in that increased profit that they have during the day. So they'll keep trying to get back up to that higher gain, and usually end up then losing more and more and more. So we're adverse, but we need to find out what the person wants. So in the example I gave before of like a lead gen consultant, when you're trying to find out what they want, they're either moving towards something or moving away. Maybe they want a lead gen consultant because their current leads are bad. They're not able to generate enough of them. The leads just aren't converting. It's just pure tire kickers. So they want to move away from that. Or maybe it's because the business has been doing really, really well, and it's time to scale, and they're looking for somebody who can come in and can increase the lead flow so that they can continue to grow the business. They want to move further toward that goal. And the way you're going to tie your products or services to that is very, very different. I mean, the way that you would want to talk to somebody who wants to move away from the pain of bad leads or leads that aren't converting is different than the way you would position your services to the person whose business is just booming and they're now at a point where they can invest even more in generating leads. Is that clear to everybody? Makes sense? And you then need to connect the dots. So we need to find out what the person wants. We need to find out why they want it. And using questions like that helps us do that. And then we need to show them how our products or services or ourselves will fill those needs. Show them how our offer fulfills what they want. So there's other questions as well that can be used. Has anybody read Spin Selling? I can't remember who wrote it, but it's all about kind of a framework for questioning situation, problem, implication, and need. Can't remember what the N stands for. Payoff, yeah. I don't remember who wrote it. It's good. It's a sales book, definitely worth reading. Some of these questions are really more situational, I think. And then the follow-up questions are where we get into the implications of it. And that's the, what does that mean to you, or what will having that do for you? So questions like, what has changed that's caused you to? So what's changed that's caused you to be thinking about subscribing to an insurance growth program? Or what's changed in your business that has you thinking about hiring a lead generation consultant? I think it was Ben earlier today who was talking about how you position yourself against the competition without coming across negatively, like you're knocking the competition. Some of these questions are really good for that. Like if you know that the person you're talking to is currently working with another company that provides the same service, the reason that they're considering a change, there has to be something that's impacting them. So asking a question like, what has changed that's caused you to? I think it's also important to know where the person is. So like Ben talks about the levels of awareness from the Eugene Schwartz levels of awareness. And in our taking stock, we make certain assumptions based on our knowledge of the market that we're trying to reach, to position our offers based on where they are. But when we're talking to somebody on the phone, or talking to them in person, we can go much deeper. So what do you currently know about? So for example, if you're selling them Facebook advertising or some kind of lead generation, what do you currently know about lead generation? Or what do you currently know about Facebook advertising? And this helps you so you're not telling them things that they know, which I think ties back into that features and benefits where people just try to jam down someone's throat everything about their product or service. It's important to understand where they are and what they know. What is your single biggest challenge? This can be phrased just in general. So you're selling some type of business growth consulting or services. You want to find out where they are, what the pain is. What's your single biggest challenge? If they're using an alternative provider, a different product, or a different service, it could be phrased a little bit differently and tactfully. So for example, they tell you, or because you have some kind of intake form that they're using XYZ provider. Well, is there anything that you would change about the service that you're currently getting today? And then, or are there any challenges that you're experiencing working with them? So not asking them what they don't like, or asking them what, overtly you don't want to put them in a position where they are kind of admitting that they've made a bad decision, but by asking them what they would change or what challenges they're experiencing, you're framing it differently. If you had a magic wand and could fix any one thing within your business, what would you fix first? Or what would you change first? This, I think, is very, very similar to the question that Jeff Moore showed with if we're sitting together a year from now, what would have had to happen for you to consider our relationship or this past year working together a success? This is really a cool one because it really gets them imagining. So if you had a magic wand, what's the first thing that you would change, or what's the first thing that you would fix within your business? I think we should ask permission before we start asking the questions. And this slide probably should have been a little bit earlier in the deck, but when we get to that point where we've established rapport, and now we need to kind of do the needs analysis. And I think in James Farron's course online, he talks about this kind of transitioning and asking permission to transition, because it just makes the person feel a lot more comfortable. And they've sort of given you permission then to probe and to go deeper So before you start asking questions, I recommend that you ask permission to do it.